You walk into a room and suddenly it's freezing. Just one spot, right where she used to sit. Your grandmother's chair, your son's bedroom, your husband's side of the bed. The cold wraps around you like water, and for a moment, just a breath, you feel something, a presence, not threatening, familiar, aching, real. Science calls it drafts, psychology calls it projection, religion calls it imagination. But Ibn Arabi, the mystic who could see what others couldn't, documented something that will stop your heart. The dead don't leave, they can't. And the 9 irrefutable proofs he recorded, so dangerous they were hidden for 800 years, will reveal why that cold spot is the warmest truth you've ever known. Here's what will shock you. Ibn Arabi said the dead are more alive than we are. Listen closely. In his masterwork, Futuhat al-Makkiyah, the Meccan Revelations, he wrote something that made scholars furious. He said, "Those you call dead have simply removed their coats. They walk in rooms you cannot see. They speak in frequencies you've forgotten how to hear." But here's the part that changes everything. He said they visit you constantly, not sometimes, not in special moments, constantly. Right now, as you hear these words, someone who loved you is closer than your breath, closer than the blood moving through your veins. You think death is a wall. Ibn Arabi said it's a veil, thin as silk. And those who pass through it don't disappear. They become more present, more aware, more capable of reaching you than they ever were in flesh. That cold spot you felt, that wasn't your imagination. That wasn't grief hallucination. That wasn't the thermostat broken or a draft from the window. Ibn Arabi called it Barzakh touching, the place where their world kisses yours, where the invisible becomes almost visible. Temperature drops because energy shifts. The air itself rearranges to let them through. Your body knows before your mind does. Goosebumps, hair standing up, a shiver that starts in your spine and blooms outward like ice cracking on a frozen lake. This is not metaphor. This is not poetry. This is documented mystical science from a man who spent his entire life mapping the geography of realms we pretend don't exist. Let me tell you what happened to Ibn Arabi when he was 23 years old. His father died suddenly, a man he loved, a man he fought with, a man he never got to tell certain things. You know the things I mean. The words that stay locked in your throat until it's too late. 3 days after the funeral, Ibn Arabi was sitting alone in his room in Seville. Evening. The light was dying, and suddenly the temperature plummeted. Not the whole room, just the space in front of him. A column of cold, precise as a blade. He said later, "I was not afraid. I was home." His father's presence filled that cold like water filling a cup. No voice, no apparition, just knowing. The same way you know your own heartbeat, the same way you know your own name in darkness. And in that moment, his father spoke, not in words. In understanding that bypassed language entirely, he said, "I am more with you now than I ever was. I see you clearer. I love you louder. Death didn't take me from you. It freed me to love you the way I couldn't when I was trapped in that small, suffering body." Ibn Arabi wept, not from grief, from relief. This experience became the foundation of his teaching. He spent the next 57 years documenting what he learned, not from books, from direct experience, from standing at the edge of the veil and learning its language. He said the dead live in what he called Alam al-Mithal, the imaginal realm, not imaginary, imaginal, a world as real as this one, but made of subtler substance, light instead of matter, consciousness instead of flesh. Think of it like this. You know how a song exists? You can't touch it. You can't hold it in your hands, but it's real. It moves you. It makes you cry. It changes your heartbeat. It exists in a realm between physical and pure thought. That's where your loved ones are. In the space between. close enough to touch, too subtle to see with these eyes that are calibrated only for density. But here's what matters most. Ibn Arabi said they don't just exist there peacefully, waiting for Judgment Day. They're active, they're watching, they're involved in your life in ways you can't begin to imagine. That decision you made last week that felt like pure intuition, that sudden knowing that saved you from disaster, that unexpected peace that flooded you when you were drowning in grief. Not you, them, working through the veil, whispering in the language your soul remembers even when your mind has forgotten. He documented 9 specific proofs, 9 ways the dead make themselves known, 9 signatures they leave in the fabric of your daily life, 9 undeniable signs that what you've been calling coincidence is actually communication. And once you learn to read these signs, everything changes. Grief doesn't disappear, but it transforms, from ending into continuation, from loss into different kind of presence. Now listen, this is where it gets precise. Ibn Arabi's 9 proofs of visitation. I'm going to walk you through each one slowly. Pay attention, because you've experienced these. You just didn't know what you were experiencing. Proof 1. Temperature shifts. Sudden cold in specific locations, not drafts, not air conditioning. Localized cold that appears and vanishes without physical cause. The dead exist in a realm of pure energy. When they press close to our dimension, energy transfers. Heat pulls away from our realm into theirs. Basic physics of interdimensional contact. Proof 2. Scent memory. You smell their perfume, their cigarettes, their cooking, their soap, out of nowhere. No logical source. Scientists call this phantom smell disorder. Ibn Arabi called it dhikr al-ghaib, remembrance from the unseen. They're reminding you, I was real. I am real. Don't forget me. Proof 3. Veridical dreams. Dreams where they tell you something you couldn't have known. A hidden object's location, a coming event, a family secret. These aren't wishes. These aren't your subconscious. These are actual communications through the only portal most humans can access, the dream state, when your rational mind finally shuts up long enough to hear. Proof 4. Synchronicity storms. After they die, their favorite song plays everywhere. Their name appears repeatedly. You see their birth date on clocks, receipts, license plates. Carl Jung called it synchronicity. Ibn Arabi called it tawafuq, divine alignment. The universe itself rearranges to deliver messages from those who can no longer use words. Proof 5. Animal messengers. A bird appears at your window. A butterfly lands on you at the funeral. A stray dog follows you home the day after their death. Ibn Arabi taught that the dead can borrow the eyes and wings of creatures to reach you. Animals exist between worlds naturally. They're perfect vessels. Proof 6. Electrical interference. Lights flicker. Phones act strange. Devices turn on by themselves. Not malfunction. Energy signature crossing dimensions. Their consciousness, pure electricity now, interacts with our electrical systems the way wind interacts with chimes. Proof 7. The knowing. You suddenly know they're present. No reason, no evidence. Just absolute certainty that someone you loved who died is standing right there. Ibn Arabi called this ilham, direct knowing. The soul recognizes what the eyes cannot see. Your heart has senses your brain doesn't understand. Proof 8. Physical touch. You feel a hand on your shoulder, a brush against your cheek, a hug from behind. When you turn, nothing, not hallucination. Actual touch from the imaginal realm, briefly penetrating physical density. Like a hand reaching through water, distorted but real. Proof 9. Protective intervention. You're about to make a terrible mistake. Suddenly, a feeling, a resistance, an invisible hand stopping you. You change course, Later, you discover you avoided disaster. The dead can see what's coming. They can't control your choices, but they can nudge, they can whisper, they can pray for you from where they stand. These 9 proofs appear in every culture, every religion, every human society, because they're not beliefs, they're observations, documented patterns of how the veil actually works. So, what do you do with this? How do you actually connect? Let me tell you about Fatima first, because what happened to her will show you why this matters. She came to Ibn Arabi in Damascus, an old woman. Her daughter had died in childbirth 40 days prior. She was drowning, not just in grief, in guilt. She'd argued with her daughter the morning before she went into labor. Harsh words about marriage, about choices, about disappointment. Her daughter died without them reconciling, and Fatima was being eaten alive by it. Ibn Arabi listened. Then he taught her something, a practice. He said, "Your daughter is not gone. She's trying to reach you, but your guilt is a wall louder than stone. Let it go, just for 5 minutes. Let it go and listen." Fatima went home. She sat in her daughter's room. She did exactly what Ibn Arabi taught. She stilled herself. She remembered her daughter's face, not in death, but in joy, playing as a child, laughing at her wedding, hands on her pregnant belly, glowing. She opened without demanding, and she waited. 3 minutes in, the room went cold, not frightening or a gentle cold, like a cool cloth on fever. And then, she told Ibn Arabi later, she felt arms around her. She felt her daughter's chin on her shoulder. She felt, more than heard, words. "Mama, I know. I forgive you. I always forgave you. I love you. I'm safe. I'm joyful. I'm free. Please, please be free too." Fatima wept, but different tears, not loss, release. When she opened her eyes, she saw it on the windowsill, a white butterfly in Damascus in autumn, when no butterflies should exist. She understood, message received. But wait, here's what Ibn Arabi never told Fatima, what he wrote in his private journals but kept hidden. What will change everything you think about who can reach you and who can't? He wrote, "Some of the dead cannot visit, not because they don't want to, but because the living won't allow it." Think about that. The person you're desperate to hear from, the one whose silence cuts deeper than anyone else's. Maybe they're not silent. Maybe you're the wall. Now, let me show you what Ibn Arabi taught Fatima, the practice that opened her, the same practice that can open you. He called it Muraqabah al-Mauta, the watching for the dead. Not seance, not magic, simple, profound awareness training. Step 1. Create stillness. Find a quiet place, somewhere you feel safe. Sit, close your eyes, stop asking, stop wanting, just be present. The dead cannot reach through noise. They need stillness, like fish need water. Step 2. Remember them fully, not how they died, how they lived. Picture their face, their hands, the sound of their voice, the way they laughed. Don't cry, don't speak, just remember. Remembering is the first form of summoning. Step 3. Open without demand. Here's the crucial part. Don't demand they appear. Don't beg for signs. Simply open, like a flower opens to sunlight. No force, no desperation, just receptivity. Say in your heart, "If you're here, I'm listening. If you have something to show me, I'm watching. If you want to comfort me, I'm ready." Step 4. Notice the subtle temperature shifts. Tingling, sudden emotion, a thought that doesn't feel like yours, a memory that surfaces without being called. Don't analyze, don't question, just notice. The dead speak in whispers, not shouts. Step 5. Gratitude. Whether you felt anything or not, say thank you to them, to Allah, to the mysterious mercy that keeps love alive beyond death. Gratitude keeps the channel open. Desperation closes it. Practice this daily, especially at dawn, Fajr time, when the veil is thinnest. Ibn Arabi said the hour before sunrise is when the dead come closest. The world between sleep and waking, the light between darkness and day. Let me tell you about Fatima. She came to Ibn Arabi in Damascus. An old woman. Her daughter had died in childbirth. 40 days prior, she was drowning. Not just in grief, in guilt. She'd argued with her daughter the morning before she went into labor. Harsh words about marriage, about choices, about disappointment. Her daughter died without them reconciling, and Fatima was being eaten alive by it. Ibn Arabi listened. Then he taught her something, a practice. He said, "Your daughter is not gone. She's trying to reach you, but your guilt is a wall louder than stone. Let it go, just for 5 minutes. Let it go and listen." Fatima went home. She sat in her daughter's room. She did exactly what Ibn Arabi taught. She stilled herself. She remembered her daughter's face, not in death, but in joy, playing as a child, laughing at her wedding, hands on her pregnant belly, glowing. She opened without demanding, and she waited. 3 minutes in, the room went cold. Not frightening cold, gentle cold, like a cool cloth on fever. And then, she told Ibn Arabi later, she felt arms around her. She felt her daughter's chin on her shoulder. She felt more than heard words. "Mama, I know, I forgive you. I always forgave you. I love you. I'm safe. I'm joyful. I'm free. Please, please be free too." Fatima wept, but different tears, not loss, release. When she opened her eyes, she saw it, on the windowsill, a white butterfly, in Damascus. In autumn, when no butterflies should exist, she understood. Message received. But wait, here's what Ibn Arabi never told Fatima, what he wrote in his private journals but kept hidden. What will change everything you think about, who can reach you and who can't? He wrote, "Some of the dead cannot visit, not because they don't want to, but because the living won't allow it." Think about that. The person you're desperate to hear from, the one whose silence cuts deeper than anyone else's. Maybe they're not silent. Maybe you're the wall.